Hello children, welcome to the YouTube channel of Welkin National School Vasai East. This is Mrs. Mamata Bijoria, subject teacher of SST. Today I will be teaching for standard 7th, that is history chapter number 7. The chapter name is the administration of the Swaraj. Shivaji Maharaj founded Swaraj. He had himself crowned. After the coronation, Maharaja accomplished Dakshin Digvijay, the conquest of South. The Swaraj expanded, comprising large area of Nasik, Pune, Satara, Sangli, Kolhapur, Sindhudurg, Ratnagiri, Raigad and Thane districts of Maharashtra. It also included parts Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu states. To ensure the smooth management of the affairs of the Swaraj and to ensure people's welfare, Shivaji Maharaj set up an efficient administration. We shall get some information about it in this chapter. Now over here they have explained that he was the founder of Swaraj. He was also crowned and his Swaraj was expanded in the large area of Nasik, Pune, Satara, then Sangli, then Kolhapur, Sindhudurg, Ratnagiri, Raigad and Thane district of Maharashtra. Now it requires a smooth functioning, so it requires an efficient setup of administration. Ashtapradhan Mandal means what? Council of 8 ministers. At the time of his coronation, Shivaji Maharaj appointed a council of 8 ministers. The administration was divided into 8 departments. A head was appointed for each department. These 8 head of department constituted the Ashtapradhan Mandal. Maharaj alone had the power to appoint a minister or to remove him from his position. The ministers were answerable to Maharaj for the administration of their respective department. Shivaji Maharaj selected the council on the basis of their merit and achievement. He did not give them jagir, watans or gift or fief. They were paid handsome salaries instead. Now in this Ashtapradhan Mandal, it means it consists of 8 ministers. Now after the coronation, Shivaji Maharaj was appointed in the 8th council of minister. It was divided into 8 departments and each department was having head. Now Shivaji Maharaj was having the power to appoint a minister or to remove the ministers from their own position, and the ministers were responsible to answer Shivaji Maharaj. Now his selection was on the basis of the quality of being particularly good and the achievement. He never gave them he never gave them any gift, or like he only gave a handsome salary. He never gave any price for those council of ministers. The policy regarding agriculture. Agriculture was the main occupation in villages. Maharaja knew the importance of agriculture. That is why he had attention to the welfare of farmers. He entrusted the responsibility of organizing the land revenue system to his capable and experienced office bearer, Annaji Dato. He warned the officers that they should not collect more revenue than the amount that was fixed. He encouraged peasants to bring uncultivated land under cultivation. If the crop was lost due to the excessive rains or drought, or if any enemy army had devastated the area of village, remission were granted in land revenue and other taxes. Maharaja had instructed his officers to provide peasants with bullocks, plough and good seeds for sowing. Now over here In this paragraph, they have said that agriculture, it was the main occupation of the village. So Shivaji Maharaj was knowing the importance of agriculture. So he assigned the responsibility by organizing the land revenue system to his capable and experienced office bearer. Now in that, Annaji Dato, he warned them that they should not collect more revenue compared to the fixed amount. So he told peasants to cultivate land of uncultivated wherever it is uncultivated. Now, if any of the reasons the crops fail to grow, then he used to give granted in land revenue and taxes. Now, Shivaji Maharaj gave the orders to provide peasants with bullocks, plough, good seeds for sowing. Village economy of that period. Agriculture was the backbone of the rural economy. In village, many occupation developed in supplement agriculture. Artisans in the village produce goods and fulfill the needs of the local people. In this sense, a village was a self-sufficient unit. Farmers gave a definite share for their produce to artisans. This share was called baluta. Now in this village paragraph, they have explained that agriculture was the main of the rural economy. A good crops was developed and artisans in the village that got good production of goods, and this fulfilled the needs of the local people. So this village was very self-sufficient unit, and the farmers gave good share to their artisans, and this share was called baluta. Trade and business. Maharaj knew that the kingdom does not prosper without any increase in trade. Merchants bring novel goods as also certain necessities into a kingdom. Goods became available in plenty. Trade prosper, adding to wealth. The view that Maharaj took of merchants is seen in the Ajnaya Patra, where merchants are described as follows. Merchants are the ornaments of the kingdom and the glory of the king. It was the policy of the Maharaj to protect industries. An excellent example of this is the salt industry. He protected the salt industry in Konkan. At that time, traders imported salt from the Portuguese territory and sold it in Swaraj. That affected the local trade in Konkan areas. So Maharaj charged heavy duty on the salt imported into Swaraj from the Portuguese territory. The intention was that the salt imported from the Portuguese territory would then cost more, and as a result its import would decrease and the sale of the local salt would increase. Now over here, the trade and the business paragraph, they have explained that Shivaji Maharaj knew that trade increase and then one kingdom will prosper. So merchant brought novel goods in the kingdom. Now goods were available in plenty. So Shivaji Maharaj described that merchants are the ornament of the kingdom and glory of the king. So Shivaji Maharaj policy was to protect the industry and is to protect the industry with an excellence. Now for example of this is salt industry. He protected salt industry in Konkan. Import of salt was from Portuguese territory to and he sold it to the Swaraj. But this trade affected the Konkan area. So Shivaji Maharaj charged heavy duty on the salt and imported into Swaraj. So the intention was that salt imported would cost more, and this would decrease the sale of salt. The military organization. There were two main divisions of the army of the Shivaji Maharaj: infantry and cavalry. In the infantry there were officers such as the Havaldar, Jumledar, etc. The chief of the infantry was called Sarnobat. He was the highest officer in the infantry. In the cavalry there are two types. There are two types of cavalrymen, namely Shiledar and the Bargir. The Shiledar had its own horse and weapon. The Bargir was provided with the horse and weapon by the state. In cavalry, Bargir were more in numbers. The rank of the cavalry officers were similarly to those of the infantry officers. Now, the highest officer in the cavalry was Sarnobat. Netoji Palkar, Pratap Rao Gujar, Himberao Mohite were some of the famous Sarnobats of the cavalry. Now, over here, the military paragraph, they have said that there were two divisions of the army, that is infantry and cavalry. Now, infantry means soldiers marching and cavalry means soldiers fought on the horseback. So, Havaldars and Jumledars were infantry officers and chief was called Sarnobat, which is the highest officer in the infantry. Now, in cavalry, Shiledar and Bargirs were two types. Now, Shiledar have their own weapons with horse, but Bargir were more in numbers. Now, the highest officer in the cavalry was the Sarnobat. Now, Netoji Palkar and Pratap Rao Gujar, Himberao Mohite were some famous Sarnobat of the cavalry. Intelligence Department. Intelligence Department. It was necessary to protect the Swaraj from its enemies. For this, it was necessary to get precise and timely information about the movements of the enemy. It was the job of the intelligence department to obtain information about the movement of the enemies and submit it to Maharaj. The intelligence service of Maharaj was very efficient and Bahirji Nayak was the head of the intelligence department. He was extremely skilled in his job. He collected accurate and detailed information about Surat before the raid on Surat. Now, over here, they have explained in this paragraph that this department was necessary to protect the Swaraj, and it was necessary to protect the Swaraj, and Bahirji Nayak was the head of the department. It was important to get the information of the movement of the enemy. So it was this department to obtain information about the movement of enemies and to submit to Maharaj. Now, Bahirji collected accurate and detailed information about Surat before the raid was done on Surat. Forts. Forts were of great importance in the medieval age. Possession of a fort made it possible to keep an eye on the surrounding area. In case of foreign invasion, it was possible to protect the people taking shelter in the fort. It was possible to stock the fort with food grains, war material, ammunition, and military garrison. The importance of the forts in the foundation of Swaraj is well stated in Ajnaya Patra. Now, this kingdom was created by the late revered and exalted majesty fort alone. There were about 300 forts in the Swaraj. Maharaj spent an considerable amount of money on the building and repair of these forts. He built hill forts like Pratapgarh, Pavangarh and Rajgarh. There was a Killedar and Subnis and a Kharkanis on every fort. The Kharkanis looked after the storage of food grains and the maintenance of the war material on the fort. Now over here what they have explained, that fort means, in this paragraph they have explained, it was an important in the medieval period to keep an eye on the surrounding area. If any foreign invasion happens, it was possible to protect the people taking shelter in the fort, and this fort was loaded with food grains, war material, etc. Now 300 forts were there. 300 forts were there in Swaraj. Now Shivaji Maharaj spent lot of money on the forts, on the building and repair of the forts. So he built hill forts like Pratapgarh, Pavangarh and Rajgarh. Now in every fort there were killedar, subnis, karkhanis. Now karkhanis used to look after the storage of food grains, and the main used to of the war material on the fort was about, he used to look after the war material on the fort also. Now we will go for the sea fort. Maharaj knew the importance of sea fort too. One of the sea fort that he built was Sindhudurg at Malwan. It is an excellent sea fort to give strength to the constructions of the fort. 5 khandis of lead was procured into its foundation. A sea fort called Padma Durga was built in front of the Rajapuri in order to counter the Siddhi power. About this fort, Maharaj had said in a letter that by constructing Padma Durga, he had set up another Rajapuri to overshadow the Rajapuri of the Siddhi. Now over here they have given the picture of fort Padma Durga. Now in this sea fort paragraph they have explained that sea fort was important and he built sea fort in Sindhudurg at Malwan. So to give the strength to the construction of the forts, 5 khandes were procured in the foundation of Padma Durga, and a sea fort was built in front of Rajapuri to check the Siddhi's power. Navy. Enemies on the west coast of India, the Portuguese of Goa, the Siddhis of Janjira and the British factor of Surat and Rajapura created obstacles in the work of expanding the Swaraj. It was necessary to curb their activity and to protect the west coast. For this purpose, Maharaja raised a navy. He realized that one who was a navy controlled the sea. Now Maharaj had great foresight. Now they have given the picture of this Gurab. See the boat, it was known as Gurab, and this is the Galbat. There were 400 ships of various kinds in his navy. They included battleships like the Gurab, Galbat and Pal. Ships were built in the creek of Kalyan Bhivandi, Vijay Durga and Malwan. Mayank, Bhandari and Daulata Khan were the chief naval commanders. Now over here in this paragraph, navy paragraph, they have said that in the west coast of India, the Portuguese, the Siddhis and the British were the enemies who created the problem in expanding of Swaraj. So it was necessary to protect the west coast, and so Shivaji Maharaj realized something would happen. So he arranged 400 ships of various kind of in his navy. Now the battleship like Gurab and Galbat and Pal, now these ships were built in the creeks of Kalyan Bhivandi, then Vijay Durga and Malwan, Mayank, Bhandari and Daulata Khan were the chief naval commanders of these. Concerns for the welfare of his subject. Maharaj did not work only with the limited ambition of conquering enemy territories and establishing dominance like other things. His main object was to make his subjects independent. He was aware that if his subjects were to really get the joy of freedom, it was necessary to have a disciplined administration, take comprehensive care of people's welfare, and protect the conquered territories. Maharaja was not merely a ruler, he was a watchful administrator who cared for his people's welfare. This is clearly seen in his administration of the state. Now over here the concerned paragraph they have said that Shivaji Maharaj was not only working for any ambition or any conquering enemies of the territory. Now his main object was to make his subject independent by getting joy and freedom and taking care of the welfare of the people, and also to protect the conquered territory. So he was not only the ruler but also a great watchful administrator. Now children, we have finished this chapter. Hope you all have understood this chapter. Bye students, take care and have a nice day.